But Coach Bob Johnson says Tom Barrasso is a hot goalie too, and he gets the start. Langway pass to Hatcher, and Rod Langway has to backpedal out of the corner, and the Americans with a slow start dump it behind the net. Tom Barrasso tries to get it clear on the right side. It is forced back to center ice. Great defense pair for the Soviets, Fetisov and his partner Kazatonov. And they will often backpedal to get things going. A good early check in the corner there, that old check. Just straight up to the front of Maple Leafs. Involved in that one. His play is whistled down.
That's some of the adrenaline that I was talking about. If Team USA can translate the adrenaline into some hits without getting into penalty trouble, and that's the man that's going to control penalty trouble whether it happens or not, if they can translate the adrenaline into good physical hits, let the Soviets know they're in a real fight from start to finish tonight. They can get discouraged. Right now, you're looking at Bob Johnson, who has the matchup that he wants. Although LaFontaine is out there now, he started with Joel Otto's line against the big five. Some people say the five best in the world. Makarov, Larionov, Krutov with Fetisov and Kasatonov. Those are the big five for the Soviets.
Miller kept it alive in there and still does as the LaFontaine line is on the ice. Pat LaFontaine has scored 3 times in this Canada Cup already and is always dangerous in the slot. Play behind the Soviet goal, forced out in front, and Melnikov goes down to hang on to it.
Boy, great tenacity early. You know, if Team USA can maintain puck control in the Soviet zone, the scouting report on the Soviets, and it's been this way for years, there's Viktor Tikhonov, the head coach, in the center of the screen. But if they can maintain possession, the Soviets break down. What the Soviets do is try and force a turnover early. They flood a zone with 5 men, and if they don't get the turnover, very often they break down defensively.
Mark Johnson, one of 2 members of this team who played in Lake Placid when the United States Olympians upset the Soviets 7.5 years ago, is on the ice now. The Soviet Union and the red shirts bring it across the United States line. Homyatov bumping in the corner there. They try to jam it along the boards, held in by the Soviet Union. Down behind the net it goes. Homyatov flips it in front. Batted away by Tom Barrasso and goal for the United States. The dangerous little Bekoff is out there now, swirling around in the United States corner. Johnson applies the check, ties up the Soviet player. Chelios now from the Montreal Canadiens comes in to help out and flips it down the ice to the Soviet zone. Kravchuk won the race for the puck. Soviet player is down in the face-off circle. Play goes right on. He got crunched down there as the play was heading up the ice. And he is still down and in obvious discomfort. Well, we'll let you know what happened to him in just a moment. It's scoreless here from Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, we've been able to identify the injured Soviet player. It's Kravchuk. Watch Joey Mullen nail him after his passes. Wow, what a hit right to the thigh. Kravchuk was caught looking at his pass only for a second. You could tell that he picked up Joey Mullen at the last second a little too late. He carried off. He's probably got a Charlie horse.
A bad one, I would suspect. They're working on him at the Soviet bench. He was doubled over as they brought him over to the bench. The Soviets cleared the zone to center ice by a fast break on the left side. Defending for the United States is Kevin Hatcher. Makes a good check in the corner, so the Americans getting physical early. Nyland makes a bump and lets the puck slide back to center ice. No score in the early minutes in Hartford. A great one shaping up. The United States against the Soviet Union, a key match here in the Canada Cup of '87. Dumped at the zone for Fraser, and he can't sustain it inside the Soviet blue line. So his defense player now, Kevin Hatcher, gets it across through Rod Langway. The only man on the ice not wearing a helmet, the captain of Team USA. Now back to Hatcher. Lobs it down to the Soviet corner. That, of course, is what the North American players will do. The Soviets prefer to work it in. Big Nyland now in the corner, feeding it out in front for Brook. Couldn't get it to him, and the Soviets start back down the ice with Sergei Svetlov in command. They come in 3-on-2, broken up by Hatcher. Nyland pounces on the puck. He shoots it down the ice. Stopped by the goalie, so the icing call is waved off by the National Hockey League linesman, Ron Finn. Yakin for the Soviet Union now, bringing it inside the line, getting turned around, leading into the corner there for Housley. Housley recovering from a wicked check in the Team Canada game. The United States lost 3-2 the other night, but he looks to be back to full strength now. Krutov brings it in. It is played off the backboard, still loose and behind the United States goal. The Americans trying to get a whistle there. They finally do as the linesman comes in to whistle down a stoppage in play. It is scoreless here. They have played just over 3 very brisk minutes in Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. combination the Soviets have on the ice now, you're liable to see as often as possible tonight. That's their top combination. But watch this Chris Nyland move.
Boy, he bangs into one of the Soviets, and after this play, Fetisov, the leader, the inspirational guy for the Soviet Union, he wears the K, signifying captain. He's number 2. He took Nyland out of the play with the hit that looked a lot like the hit that Joey Mullen laid on one of the Soviets. So the Soviets can play it just about any way you want. If you want to get physical with them, you can always expect them to come back with some.
The two top lines are on the ice right now. It is swept in front of the United States goal, quickly cleared off from the near left boards and brought out by Olchek. On the right side, Chelios lets one go, and the blast is wide of Neilnikov in the Soviet net. The Soviets now trying to clear the zone. Good forechecking by the United States. Bobby Carpenter digs in hard there now. Wins the puck. Carpenter flips it right in front. Here's the shot on the blast by Chelios. Just goes wide. From the left side, Suter with it. Keeping it alive for the U.S. to Ed Olchek. Olchek couldn't contain it behind the net, and back come the Soviets. This is number 24, Makarov with it. Cross the line. Drops it to the slot in front of the shot. Just goes wide. Krutov with a dangerous chance for the USSR right there. Kazatonov in the corner, leaving it there. Makarov digs it back down the board. Krutov. Larionov swings too far behind the net. Try to play it in front of the net is off its mooring. So they stop the play right there.
It's a pretty good play, and I doubt that was accidental. I think it was Eddie Olchek coming back in that said, hey, we're in trouble. He could see Barrasso out of the net, so he simply poked the net off of its mooring, and the play was stopped. The Soviet official was standing watching. Here's Barrasso out of the net. Watch number 26, Eddie Olchek. Well, a combination there. There's Olchek. He's got his right shoulder into the far post, and he just knocks it off. Otherwise, the Soviet is doing a hoop around, wrap around into an empty net that Barrasso had vacated.
Yeah, the Soviets were swirling around in menacing fashion, and they were forming the kind of offensive play they like to work in there, so it was a very opportune time to get that net loose. Kevin Hatcher for the United States leaves it in his own corner. Good bump behind the net for Hatcher. There's a penalty indication here. It'll come against the United States. Barrasso gets his stick on it. That gives the U.S. possession. And it looks like Hatcher is going to go for 2 minutes for cross-checking in the American corner. The first penalty of the game. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
One of the Soviets, we're going to take a look at it. Boy, he takes him out, but you can see that he has there. Well, you know, the Soviet looked as if he was stumbling before he hit him. But the man born in Detroit who played his junior hockey in Canada was nevertheless whistled for cross-checking. Team USA's penalty killing has been excellent in this tournament so far.
It is quickly out of the United States zone, and so the test is going to be on now as to how well they can kill it against the offensive machine in the red shirts representing the Soviet Union. In they come with a long shot and they score. The Soviets early in the penalty take a 1-0 lead. Kaminsky puts it away for the USSR.
Boy, he had a full head of steam on, and you really, I don't think, could tell from the windup that it was going to explode off his stick the way it did. But I think the key here is that he's allowed to cross the U.S. blue line and get within range. Watch the defenseman backing off. Now, by this time, he's a good 15 feet inside the blue line. He uses that U.S. defenseman as a screen. That's a heck of a blast. Barrasso really didn't have much of a chance, especially trying to pick it up coming out of his own player's legs.
Valeri Kaminsky makes it 1-0 for the Soviet Union here. Just shy of the 5-minute mark on the power play with Hatcher in the penalty box for the United States. They're at full strength now, but the red wave continues as the Soviets bring it down to the United States corner. Bumping along the boards for possession. Soviets still have it. Whipped out here to the left side to Semenov. Semenov is shot from the bad angle, and it's gloved by Barrasso. He will hang on for the save, but the pressure continues for the United States team.
Well, you know, Tom Barrasso would like to come up with a great effort. His last Canada Cup effort was in 1984. Here's his own rebound. He gloves it. In 1984, the U.S. team really had an excellent Canada Cup, made it to the semifinals, and then were defeated 9-2 by Sweden. That knocked them out of the competition. Tom Barrasso started that 9-2 loss, so I'm sure he would like to have a great effort tonight, pull out a victory, and erase all of the negatives from 1984.
Mark Johnson won the draw. There was Brook, actually, from Samak of the Soviet Union, back to center ice. Just 16 seconds into the power play. The Soviets struck for the only goal of this game so far, and they are gaining momentum as we continue here early in the first period in Hartford. The United States trying to contain them in the neutral zone if they can, but again, they penetrate the United States blue line. That was Stelnov coming in. Chelios with it down. On the left left side for Fraser. Dumps it across into the right Soviet corner as the Americans pour in after a big Nyland there. A big bump on the boards. Fraser digs for it, can't win the puck. And Stelnov comes up with it for the USSR with a pass ahead to Honilov. Now this is Priakin in across the line, and Barrasso, the goal stick, pokes it away. Fetisov taken off the play, and Fraser's all alone over the left side. 2-on-2 long shot by Kurt Fraser, gloved by Mielnikov. Makarov now as the Soviets get their big line out, changing on the go, the 1-0 lead over the United States. Makarov to the American line, and Krutov was a step inside. The offside is called with about 6 minutes gone here in the first period of Hartford. 1-0, and this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
We have talked about the Soviet units. They always come over the boards in groups of 5, and this is the top unit in the world, the KLM line with Krutov, Larionov, and Makarov up front. They're out there. That'll be a unit that if the United States can discourage, they will really help themselves. They set the tempo, and when they get discouraged, this entire Soviet team seems to let down.
Very dangerous combination. Quite often in the company of Fetisov and Kazatanov, but not on this occasion on the blue line. But the attacking unit is there. Larionov circling with it. Off the stick of LaFontaine. They try to work it ahead to LaFontaine at center ice. Don't get it to him. Now Langway for the United States. Flips it ahead of the Soviet blue line. Delayed offside. Kicked back to center ice by the Soviets. Larionov leaving it there for his defense player Fedotov. Now here is Miller for the United States. LaFontaine, he scored 3 times the tourney. His blast was blocked by the Soviet player Honilov and goes loose in the corner. Makarov now to Larionov. He gets a check in front. Here's the shot. It is right on from Wayne Presley. Rebound, and the play is whistled down, but a dangerous scoring bid there for the United States.
Boy, what an excellent, aggressive play by Wayne Presley. He ended up with a great opportunity to shoot on net only because he bowls Krutov right there off the puck. And Krutov is one of the guys on the KLM. He plays the right side, on Larionov's right side. He, at times, when you can discourage him, will start bickering. You can see him on the bench actually arguing with his teammates, so he's a perfect guy to bang away at.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they don't fly KLM. Aeroflot, of course.
Aeroflot. They really get those frequent flyer miles built up. Boy, Mielnikov swept around. You mentioned, Don, that he has replaced Yevgeny Beloshakin, who really was the heir apparent to Tretsiak's throne when he vacated it as the #1 Soviet goalie. But I think Beloshakin has offended a lot of the establishment. He is a very highly individualistic guy, and they don't really like that. They want to funnel all that individualism into the system, and Beloshakin is bent on being flashy.
Just there, Otto won the draw, and Ramsey got a shot off. It was gloved by Mielnikov, and goal for the Soviets. 12:55 to play in this first period, and there is Chuckles, Viktor Tikhonov, the coach of the USSR.
He looks pretty quiet there. We don't know that much about him. Of course, we only know what the Soviets tell us about them, but he is a confrontational kind of guy. Every once in a while, you'll see him arguing with his players to the point of actually cuffing the odd one on the side of the head on the bench.
He gets pretty severe. Svetlov bringing in now. Bikov bounced off the puck there, regains control temporarily. Now it slides out to the neutral zone. And this is Stelnov starting a play for the Soviet Union that goes awry. Kazatonov in behind his own goal, being watched there by Bobby Carpenter. The Soviet defender brings it away now with a pass out to the blue line to Bikov. Bikov, the smallest player in the Soviet team, just 5'8", forces the puck inside the zone, but that's going to be called on the outside. They'll face off just outside the United States blue line. You know, the Soviet coach Tikhonov we talked about a while ago was asked about glasnost, how it'll affect hockey, and he shrugged and smiled for a rare time and said glasnost has been a part of hockey for a long, long time, and I guess it really has. The Canadians, Americans, and the Europeans, including the Soviets, got to know each other very well.
Well, the blue line tonight is going to be such a key area, at least the defensive blue line. And here you can see the U.S. defense backing in. That is the kind of possession that the Soviets thrive on. If Team USA doesn't want to stand up, the Soviets will eat them alive sooner or later. They're really going to have to defend it.
Top chance down there in the bounce, and Mielnikov had to be very careful of that with Aaron Broughton Townsend ready for the rebound that almost came to him. Shooter keeps it in now right in front. Great chance for the United States. Still loose to the Soviet zone, but the Soviets come up with it and they can knock down the ice 2-on-2. Over on the right side, Lomakin running right in on goal. Still alive at the blue line. They are so quick and they are so dangerous. You cannot relax for a split second against this team. The Soviets lead 1-0. 11:45 to play in the first period here in Hartford. But the U.S. has regained a certain measure of poise since that power play goal by the USSR. comes swirling away across the United States line again. The backhand shot not taken by Lomakin. Still in control, though. They try to work the perfect pass and make it one pass too many to Semenoff over in the corner. Semenoff brings it out in front now, chops away at it, can't get a shot, and it is whistled down by the referee from Czechoslovakia, Vladimir Schubert. That'll force a face-off outside the USA line.
I think he just whistled down a hand pass by the Soviets. You know, we can see evidence already of one of the Soviets' trademarks. That is, they mesmerize you with the puck. In their system, the playmaker is usually the man without the puck. So what they do is try and mesmerize, get all eyes glued to the puck. Then out of nowhere, somebody coming full speed will break into the open, hit a hole, hit a lane, and get a great scoring opportunity. So Team USA really has to play with their heads on a swivel, always looking behind them for that guy coming full speed.
Here is Kazatonov for the Soviet Union now. He works it ahead to Semak inside the zone. Komarov can't make the play, and Langway comes up with it for the United States. Long shot down to the corner, digging in for his LaFontaine. Oh, the rebound floats over top of the net in the corner. Pat LaFontaine, ever so dangerous, gets his third shot in the last 5 seconds away, and it goes wide. The bumping continues in the Soviet corner. The United States certainly being physical enough as we approach the halfway point of the first period in Hartford tonight. 1-0 for the USSR. A delay now as Komarov has to wait for his teammates to get back on side. Now they come away inside the line, and a big hit right there by Presley, number 14. LaFontaine in over the line, got turned around off balance, slides it in front, still loose in there, but Makarov down the corner is being watched. The Americans doing some impressive forechecking in the Soviet zone and putting some pressure on. Still 1-0 for the USSR. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, Bob Johnson's game plan obviously involved a lot of hitting. Look at Wayne Presley come charging through, and he actually missed his man, did a bit of damage on upended him, but had Presley nailed him, we might have seen another Soviet carried off.
Well, the U.S. third line now centered by Bob Brook with Kurt Fraser and Chris Nyland on the ice against the Soviets' top combination centered by Larionov. Mielnikov leaves it behind his goal, but he's been tested severely, certainly by LaFontaine, in the last minute or so of this hockey game as we now reach the halfway mark of the first period here in good, exciting international Canada Cup action in Hartford. Igor Larionov, a young legend in Soviet hockey. They like to, as most Europeans do, take it back to form the play going forward. And the dangerous defenseman Fetisov now brings it to the center red line. Dumps it across the United States blue, and they go. They make the feed. Down goes Barrasso and makes a sparkling save off Krutov. He shut off the short side to him and forced him to jam away, and Barrasso had it all covered up.
Boy, once they get that speed in the neutral zone, and they're not afraid to circle back, Don, as you mentioned, that's something that we're a little more reluctant to do in North America. But once again, you can see the U.S. defenseman backing in so that Larionov is able to feed Viktor Krutov. Boy, he took an awful hit behind the net. Larionov is probably their most underrated player. He centers the KLM line, and he doesn't get the recognition simply because he doesn't score that much. Very similar to our system over here. If you don't score, you don't get the recognition. But he's an excellent playmaker and perhaps their best all-around forward.
Bobby Carpenter now coming ahead on the play as the United States won the face-off. The Carpenter line with Otto and Olczyk on the ice. Now Olczyk just yesterday traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs, so the United States at least offers the Maple Leafs a player in this Canada Cup, which they didn't have before. It had to come via trade to the Chicago Blackhawks. Jamming in the corner is Carpenter. Olczyk following suit now as they're trying to tie the Soviets up, win the puck, win a break in the USSR zone. But the experienced Soviet team works it back to the neutral zone, and Chelios now has it bouncing away from his stick in the United States corner. He gets some help from Suter as they go in behind the goal. More bumping, good hitting by the United States in the early minutes of this hockey game tonight, and it might pay off for them down the road. They trail by a goal now, less than 9 minutes left, 1-0. Kazatonov will chase it down beside his goal, left there by Sergei Mielnikov, the starter in goal tonight. Sergei Svetlov now wheeling with it. Leaving it for Kazatonov. And he will take it back the other way. Under the watchful eye of the United States forecheckers. Joey Mullen, a doubtful starter with a bad knee, is on the ice. Forechecking now for the United States. Here come the Soviets back to their own blue line now with Semenov. He starts it off with a left wing pass inside the United States line. Closing, and Barrasso save. Rebound in front. Not a good chance on that. They bring it across again back to the point. Kazatana flipping it across the edge of the crease, and it rolls to the United States corner. The Soviets ever so dangerous and ever so quick. Shot to the Soviet corner as Bratton pursues it there against the veteran Vyacheslav Fetisov. And Fetisov wins that contest. The Soviets, so quickly they come back to the United States line. LaFontaine gets the puck on his stick and shoots it back to center ice. Less than 8 minutes to play in the first period, and Coach Bob Johnson warned his team. He said, you'll skate harder tonight than you have in your entire hockey careers. The Soviets will force you to do it, and indeed that's what's happening right now in this first period. Offside called at the United States blue line. It remains 1-0 for the USSR over Team USA in Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Czechoslovakia had to win today to keep their medal round hopes alive, and they beat Finland 5-2 to do that. The Finns seem doomed to the basement. The Czechs and the United States look to be the contenders for maybe the 4th spot, unless the United States can certainly upset the Soviets here tonight. What an upset that would be. They trail 1-0 right now.
Well, that certainly creates a bit of a build-up for the final game of the round robin for the United States and Czechoslovakia since they play each other. It could be the game to decide which one makes the Final Four and which one packs it up.
Very likely that will be the case. That game's coming up on Sunday. Pat LaFontaine, who played on the '84 U.S. Olympic team in Sarajevo, spearhead of that club. And with the New York Islanders ever since, has scored 3 goals so far and almost got a 4th in this first period tonight.
He has really done what he's had to do. We have talked about how the United States team was a little light in the goal-scoring department, but LaFontaine was 38 last year in the NHL, and Joey Mullen was 47. Had to be called upon to do their thing. LaFontaine has really come through for Bob Johnson.
LaFontaine with Miller and Presley set to space it off in the Soviet zone. John D'Amico with a word for the Soviet. Now he'll back LaFontaine off a little bit, too, and get play underway again here with 7.5 minutes to play the first period. Great scoring chance in front for Kelly Miller. And Mielnikov didn't give him much to shoot at. The Soviet goalie held his ground there against the United States attacker. Otherwise, it could have been tied up in a hurry. Now Miller at his own blue line trying to come away. The Soviets back-checking very nicely. That is Priakin breaking the play up. Now the stick of Presley gave it away to a Soviet player, but Ramsey gets it back. Ramsey and Mark Johnson, of course, played for the U.S. in the miracle upset of Lake Placid in the Olympics of 1980. That is called offside at the Soviet line. We now have 6:59 to play in period 1. Well, a great scoring chance a moment ago, Bill.
It sure was. And we now know that the Soviets have 2 quality goalies. If Beloshakin can't answer the bell, watch Mielnikov come across, and Miller keeps waiting, and looking for an opening, and Mielnikov followed him and showed him nothing until he got help from his defenseman. Boy, he really did follow him well.
He wouldn't commit. He said, you make the first move, and he blocked it right in the center of the net. Kurt Fraser for the United States now. Still loose in the Soviet zone. Suter, he thought his partner Chelios was inside the line. He skated back out. So they come back and regroup in the center ice area again. Brooks getting it across to Chelios. Now to his defense partners, Sutner and Chelios again. Over on the right side. Makarov forechecking for the Soviet Union. Nyland bats it inside the Soviet zone. The goaltender Mielnikov out of his net to block it there. Paid a partial price. Nyland made contact, and it's whistled down by the referee way back, indicating something outside the blue line here. That's where the faceoff will be anyway. It was played by a hand.
Well, you had to know, if you were sitting watching and know anything about Chris Nyland, that he was going to go out of his way to bump Mielnikov, and that he did. He took a little left-hand turn and cut off Milnikov's pass back to his net. Not a piece of him.
Nyland got raked with a hockey stick of Lemieux the other night. The season starts in a few weeks. He won't forget that. Here it is. He wouldn't miss this opportunity. Bingo. Mielnikov gets a blast from Nyland.
I think he took it easy on him.
He did, really, compared to what he has been known to do. This Nyland, a man with ambitions to make the National Hockey League, he's done that. He said later in life, he said, I wouldn't mind being the mayor of Boston. A man with very lofty goals. And tonight, the goal is to beat the Soviet Union here. Langway leading it. The Soviet players coming in with Makarov, Larionov, and Krutov. Krutov circling. His shot goes well wide of the net, but it's tailed in on the right side by Kazatanov. Now Langway fails to clear. Still loose in there. Krutov, oh, and he tried to set up. Makarov at the edge of the crease. The puck just rolled beyond his grasp. Loose in the United States face-off circle, and now shot back to center ice. It is very difficult for the United States to maintain intensity for a full 60 minutes here. You see little lapses now and then, but they've done a pretty good job overall. As Mullen brings it inside the line, promptly stick check there. And the Soviets come away with a good check thrown by the defender Ramsey right there in the center ice area. Now they come inside the line. Over the blue line of the Soviet Union, back to Ramsey. Ramsey lets a high shot drift in, blocked by the defense and sent back down the ice. The Soviets are going to be called for icing here as the puck is touched with 5:17 to play in a good first period of Canada Cup hockey. From Hartford, this is the Labatt Canada Cup. They'll drop it again, not drop fairly. Pat LaFontaine had won the draw for the United States there, but they'll repeat it. And the Soviet face-off circle to the left. That's Sergei Myulnikov. I'll tell you, if you love fast-paced, good hockey with good skating and hard checks, you've got your money's worth already here. We're not yet at the 15-minute mark of the first period. At the point, here is the shot, the great save by this goaltender, Myulnikov, who continues to impress. That was Housley getting the drive away, and he had a little trouble handling it.
And LaFontaine wins it. That's the area, I think we mentioned it earlier in one of our telecasts, Don, that the area that the Europeans have not caught up to North American hockey is on the face-offs, and we continue to dominate. Both Team USA and Team Canada have had great success on the draws against all of the European teams.
Now, you win your share and more of face-offs, you're liable to win the hockey game, as you well know, Bill Clement. Housley again lets a weak shot go, but it's there for Miller. His shot was blocked, and now a whistle stops the play again. A linesman coming in now to bring attention to something with regard to the Soviet net, just slightly off the pins, and they have to make sure it's secure, so they stop the play.
Well, I wasn't sure if we weren't seeing the same play replayed. I was checking the monitor just before this play unfolded, but there it is. You can see 3 Soviet players moving out. I think they overcommitted there. That's one of the reasons Kelly Miller was able to get another shot away. One of the defensemen blocked it, but you can see the 3 red jerseys actually going out to defend against Housley. That's too many guys to send.
Yeah, the unofficial shots on goal are 8-5 for the Soviets, and the bulk of the United States shooting has come in the last 4 to 5 minutes of play. They have certainly had their scoring chances.
Here it is again.
Housley now gets it across to Ramsey. His blast from the point is deflected wide by defenders in front. Housley tries it from the left side, and that is knocked away to center ice by the Soviets. One Soviet attacker now leaves the pass for the trailer. They put it across, and a great scoring chance there. Hopped over the stick of Priakin. Still loose in the United States zone. Bill Housley with it now. Pops it off the referee, Schubert. Now they come away in the neutral zone. LaFontaine beating Housley, and nobody in front of the Soviet goal. LaFontaine away across to the far side again for Presley. Wayne Presley behind the goal. Kelly Miller digging for it there. Back to Presley for LaFontaine. Couldn't get it to him. And the Soviets come up 2-on-2 now with 4 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the period. Good work by the United States defenders there. They bring it out across the line on a big check as number 37 off goes down in the pile.
Oh, Nyland just ran over him.
They swirl and they skate, and now they come away inside the Soviet blue line. A Soviet player has been injured at center ice, and the play is stopped there. That was behind the play. I didn't catch what happened to him, but obviously he got quite a hit.
Well, Gary Suter is standing there with what is left of a hockey stick. His blade, I think Suter uses the metal.
Oh, wow, there's some blood, too. He's been cut.
I think Suter uses the metal shafted stick with just the wooden blade that fits into the end of it. And you could hear a crack from up here. I didn't see what happened, but I heard a crack. And when I looked down, Suter was standing there with the remains of a once sturdy hockey stick chopped off in his hand.
That's Andre Lomakin, and he got the shaft right there. They'll bring Suter across the ice now for the balance of this period. Looks to be a match penalty for drawing blood.
Here it is.
Or a 5-minute major at least.
Well, you can see at the bottom right of your screen the collision. Weren't able to see what happened. It almost looked like Lomakin was getting his stick up on Suter, but it was Suter's stick that ended up in a couple of pieces.
The two benches, as you see, are side by side here. Well, there's some ill feelings at this moment going back and forth as D'Amico now tries to keep them separated. Here's Bobby Carpenter.
That's the end of the blade from Gary Suter's stick. It's not much good to him. I think the part that actually slips inside the metal blade was sheared right off at the heel there.
Wow. hate to see that.
Well, look at Victor. He's preaching right now. I don't know if he's trying to wind the boys up or if he's disappointed in them. He has something to say to his guys.
It's going to be a major penalty, 5 minutes, which is really going to hurt the United States. It is called charging.
A couple of great body checks in that sequence. Nyland just ran over Semenov, number 30. I think we're here. It is right here. Man.
That gives you some idea of what 5 minutes of charging looks like.
Yeah. It's, you know, what we had talked about the adrenaline and how you have to actually funnel it into something constructive and not let it get out of hand. Penalty trouble, especially if it's a 5-minute major. This, if we can hear what's going on.
Well, the two linesmen for the game are from the National Hockey League and representing Canada. The referee is from Czechoslovakia. There he is, Vladimir Schubert. The only goal of this game on the power play by Kamensky, so they've got one that way already. The only American penalty that the United States has had to worry about or defend against. Now they get their second from Suter, and you can almost expect the worst here from the Soviets. They do capitalize the power play. It is something the United States has not done well, but they haven't had the opportunity to show what they can do in this game.
Now, this will be a tough situation. That man doesn't come out of the box. Suter doesn't come out when they score with a 5-minute major penalty.
He will be there for the full 5 as Kazatanov, with less than 4 minutes to play in this period, brings it up. The United States will be shorthanded for the balance of this period and about a minute into the second now as Krutov feeds it in front and it's in. The Soviets quickly pounce on the power play opportunity again. Krutov started the play and Makarov got his stick on it and poked it home for a 2-0 lead. A pretty goal set up beautifully.
Well, their strength skating, their second strength is passing. Krutov can see Makarov. Boy, these guys know where they are instinctively. They've played together for years. And you can see that Makarov snuck in beside Kevin Hatcher. I think Kevin was cheating to the center of the net. If he plays off of that back post, then it's impossible for the Soviets to sneak in behind him. I played for Fred Shiro for years, and he always used to preach, stand off of the back post. Don't stand in front of the net because they'll get in behind you.
The only chance Hatcher had was to block that pass coming through, and it got through him to the stick of Makarov and into the net. On the power play, 16 seconds the Soviets have taken to score on both their power play opportunities tonight. They lead by a 2-0 score. The big line still on there with Larionov. They want to keep them out as long as they can. That is offside of the United States line to really pour to the United States on a 5-minute major penalty. Soviets had not fared well in their power play until tonight. They had gone 1 for 12. In fact, they had had a very sluggish series so far by their standards. But tonight they are 2 for 2 and wasting no time in doing it.
You know, one of the best examples of how our penalty structures differ from here to the Soviet Union, the penalty in the Soviet Union for swearing at the referee, which is something that is commonplace in the NHL.
Life?
Penalty in 15-game suspension.
Almost
15
life.
games.
Boy, that is discipline. All right, the Soviets now again with the power play advantage still there. They've got that extra attacker out there, and Barrasso under constant pressure turns that one away. Chelios tries to win around the boards. Little Bikov digs it free. Then he is met by Mike Ramsey. Ramsey can't clear it out of there. The play almost exclusively in the United States zone during this prolonged penalty. Here's a shot. Barrasso goes down, made the first save off Perbukin, and the rebound almost burned in. The United States under the maximum out of the pressure here. Kamensky has scored a goal already. Got the weak shot off there. It's finally back in the neutral zone. About 2.5 minutes to play in the period. Bikov brings it across the line. Drop back at the point. Backhand shot. That drifts wide. Golf by Langway, and he finally clears the zone. Anatoly Fedotov coming back. Overskates the puck. In the contest with Bob Brooks. Here they come again at the line off the left boards. The Soviets has a Panov. He's got Fetisov on the right point. He feeds him. Fetisov was challenged there. Turns quickly, makes the play by the side of the goal, and right in front, a great chance there by Semenov, and Barrasso blocked that. It was almost 3-0.
Excellent save by Barrasso. He had to get that right pad over so quickly. Semenov had it pegged for the far corner.
A minute 40 to go in the period. The United States shorthanded. This is the situation that probably was the centerpiece of Bob Johnson's nightmares last night before this game. Svetlov now for the Soviet Union. As they take their time, they have got plenty of it. Sergei Svetlov in the face-off circle. The U.S. in the box trying to defend. It's tipped out of the corner. The Soviets still in possession of it. Makarov with it now. Wheeling, turning, made a bad pass there, however. Puts it right on the stick of the United States player, and it's shot down the ice by Joel Otto. Now we have just a minute to go in the period, but it'll be a long minute for the United States. The Soviets penetrate the zone again. Momilov on the right side. Keeps it alive. Priyankin deflected. Wide of the goal by Semak. Now Johnson gets it as they whistle it down over on the far boards with 46 seconds to play in the period.
Now, if there is one positive thing about this 5-minute major penalty, is that 1 minute of it is going to take place in the second period. We're down to 46 seconds to play, and it could be a lot worse. Now, Barrasso is really trying to help himself in here. If anybody gets close to him, he's been whacking away at people, using his stick. There he is, chopping one of the Soviets. I think there's more to come.
Yeah, the woodchopper's ball is just starting. The night is young.
Keep an eye on him. Bingo! One time with the right elbow.
Greetings from Hartford, Connecticut. 46 seconds to play in the period. The Soviet Union and goals by Kamensky and Makarov, both on the power play, both 16 seconds into United States penalties, have a 2-0 lead. The Soviets have made a habit of scoring in the first period. They have 8 first-period goals so far in this tournament. They have gone to sleep a little bit in the second. They've been burned there, but strong starts for them. Off the linesman, Finn has to defend himself with the side of the head as the puck bounced up on him. He has a ton-off now for the Soviet Union. To Priyankin. Cross on the right side. Semak. Lost control. Bobby Carpenter. He gets turned around, but whirling blasts it as he turns. And it was right on goal, Mielnikov. 15 seconds to go in the period. One more attempt for the Soviets here, and that's broken up very quickly at the blue line. Here's Bobby Carpenter now. Looks it down to the right corner. The United States. Johnson takes a shot at a Soviet player going into the puck. Wins it behind the goal, feeding it out here. Oh, hop past the stick of Ramsey. It'll slide down to the corner, and that'll take care of the time in the first period. The Soviet Union, the United States played well, but oh, those penalties can kill you, and they sure did, as the Soviets capitalized on them for a 2-0 lead after 1 over the United States. A spirited first period, and we expect it is only an appetizer on this menu of hockey tonight. Much more to come. With the Soviets on top by 2 here in Hartford, this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Mark, this was early in Gary Suter's major penalty for high sticking. Sergei Makarov with assists going to Vladimir Krutov and Alexei Kazatonov. Shots on goal in the opening period. The Soviet Union 12, the USA 6, and that would seem to indicate that there was a bit of an imbalance in the margin of play, mainly on the strength of those 2 power plays that the Soviet Union had. In the game going on out of town this evening, they are in the first period. Sweden has come back to tie it up. The score, Sweden 1, Canada 1. That's in the first period of that game, which is also being played this evening. An earlier final, this game played this afternoon. Czechoslovakia down Finland 5-2. That eliminates Finland from playoff picture. Czechoslovakia is still very much in it, particularly if the United States loses this game this evening. Czechoslovakia needs to come back and win against the United States in their final game as well. Here's a look at the standings. Canada on top with 5 points. They've yet to lose a game, 2 wins and a tie. Then comes Sweden, the United States, and the Soviet Union, all with two wins and a loss and 4 points. Czechoslovakia, a win, 2 losses, and a tie for 3 points. The Czech and the United States play a game on Sunday. That's the final round-robin game for each team in the tournament. It could very well decide who goes on to the round of 4 and the medal round. The last-place team, of course, is Finland. They are winless in 4 starts. Now, let's go upstairs to Don Chevrier and Bill Clement for the second period.
All right, Steve, and we are ready to go here with the United States in a hole, trailing the Soviets 2-0. Barrasso, head hung down. He is really concentrating, almost meditating down there. He seemed oblivious to all the encouragement from his teammates as they whacked away at his pads, coming around traditionally as they do. Just getting himself together for this period. Certainly not his fault that they are down by the 2 goals. They both came on Soviet power plays, and bear in mind, still a minute remains in the current advantage for the Soviet Union here. The top line starts centered by Larionov and the great defenseman Fetisov. From behind his own goal now works it slowly ahead to the Soviet blue line. Larionov swinging on his left, drops it back to Makarov, number 24. Watched in the corner by Hatcher. Slides behind the goal. Makarov, who scored one for the Soviets tonight, gets it back in the point for Kazatonov. Now Krutov on the left board. Makarov lays it off the side of the United States goal and banged down the ice by the Americans. That'll take some sting out of the power play, which now has 20 seconds remaining. If the United States gets away with 1 goal and a 5-minute penalty, they will have done exceptionally well here against the Soviet Union. But here's Makarov, still time on the power play for the USSR. Back to Fetisov at the line. They take their time. Fetisov's shot was wide. Digging for it behind the goal and past the point man, Kazatonov. It slides down the ice. The penalty is over. The United States, after 5 minutes and a goal against them, finally back at full strength, and now they can think about scoring some goals. Andrei Homyatov for the Soviet Union. The dangerous Bikov out there made a bad pass. Mullen for the United States with it. Coming away now inside the line. Feeding it to Broughton on the left boards. Into the corner they go. Broughton falling on the play. Soviets trying to bring it back out, and they do smartly back to center ice. The stick of Homyatov. Slides across the line with Kamensky. He scored one of the 2 Soviet goals tonight. Loose in the neutral zone. Chelios got tangled up with referee or linesman D'Amico. The Soviets carry on inside the United States zone. The battle goes on in the corner. Kamensky there was stick checked by Langway. And now Mullen plays it over on the far boards for Aaron Broughton. Can't get the puck to him. The U.S. checking well as they did when they killed off that penalty in their own zone. Holding the Soviets at bay. That was almost relayed in. A short side attempt there by Homyatov. And it just went back of the goal. Not enough room to put it in. Here come the Americans 3-on-2. Johnston leads the attack. A pass to Broughton. Not a good pass. Missed it over on the left side. And the Soviets shoot it down the ice. Take some heat off now. It's touched by a sliding Suter as he falls in the corner. And icing is called against the Soviet Union. It remains 2-0 for the USSR. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Tom Barrasso, the Buffalo Sabres, born in Boston, played high school at Acton Boxborough High in Massachusetts, and jumped from there as an 18-year-old directly into the NHL, and what an impact he made his first couple of years. And come a little bit back closer to earth in the last little while, but Ted Sater thinks he's going to have a great season for him, and they're looking for lots better things. Onward and upward in Buffalo.
Here's Housley with a shot as LaFontaine won the faceoff, but quickly the Soviets return to the neutral zone and inside the United States line. Here's Krutov, wide-angle shot. That's handled by Tom Barrasso. Tested early here in this second period. 13-60 advantage in shots currently for the Soviets.
There's number 9, Krutov, part of the K part of the KLM line, the powerful forward unit of the Soviet Union. He is not a great defensive player, but he's one of the 2 best goal scorers in the Soviet Union, along with Makarov. He's also a draft choice of the Vancouver Canucks.
That may not be as far-fetched as it once right. A possibility that certain Soviet players may be released to play in the National Hockey League in the next few months or perhaps years. Now this is Anatoly Semenov in his own zone collecting it. United States Housley intercept, long pass ahead of the blue line. Couldn't get Miller with it. Semenov now lost it. And for the United States, it is Presley. Presley's shot goes to the corner. That's the United States style. Shoot it in. The Soviets, in contrast, will carry it in and make the play. Mike Ramsey, one of 2 U.S. players from the Lake Placid gold medal team. Over to Presley, takes his bump on the boards. Another one in the corner there. Housley. And the Soviets come down the ice. Dangerous attack. In they go. Here's the shot. Good stop by Barrasso. He turned back the thrust of Yuri Homilov. The U.S. now starting up at center ice. They trail 2-0 early in the second period. Phil Housley, it's an offside pass. LaFontaine in ahead of the play. 16 minutes and 37 seconds to go in this period. There is Housley coming off that big check he took in the Team Canada game the other night.
He was down on his back for a few seconds. Rick Tocchet laid a vicious hit on him, but he came back. St. Paul, Minnesota native, finished the game. Well, he's really played well. I've really been impressed with the way Housley and Chelios have forced the play. They're always moving in, trying to create some offense, but they have to pick their spot. Their timing has to be so key, and thus far in the Canada Cup, I think their choice of timing has been excellent.
Housley backhands it up to center ice. The veteran Kazatonov. Trying to send Homelov away is unsuccessful. He will attempt it again. Just jumping it into the neutral zone. United States picking it up off the stick of Brook. It deflects into the Soviet corner. Cruising is Kurt Fraser trying to win the puck. Unsuccessful. Soviets come away. Here is Homelov inside the line, making his pass to Senek in the corner. Gets it out in front. Oh, and Kazatanov had a blast go, but no wood on it off the heel of his stick. It dribbles tamely into the corner, but the Soviets still have possession. Across the ice it goes. Suter chasing it. Up the boards and relayed out of harm's way by Kurt Fraser. Soviets 2, the United States nothing. Both power play goals in the first period. Here is Suter's shot high in the glove of goaltender Milnikov. Chelios across to Suter. The Brook line as Brook, the center, tips it down the ice. Firing now. They'll give way to the line centered by Joel Otto, the number 1 line for the United States. Langway and Hatcher on the defense as the Soviets bring it back down the ice. They hit the line, and inside they go. Shot by Homelov is blocked. Kutov now on the ice with the big line centered by Larionov for the USSR. This is a little check. Joel Otto out in front. Kutov coming up with it. And he'll send Makarov away at center ice. Being watched by Langway. Swings inside the line. Circling down he goes. Hatcher's stick made contact. No penalty call by the Czechoslovakian referee Schubert. And it's back out over the United States line. Past the 5-minute mark of the second period. Still 2-0 for the Soviet Union in the Canada Cup in Hartford here. Barrasso blocking it behind his goal. Hailed into the point by Fatisa. He gets all tangled up there in the grasp of Suter. And the United States starts to play on the left side. Good forechecking with the Soviets there. Bikov kept it in. They made a line change on the United States. They're a little bit pressure right now, perhaps. Here is the wide-angle shot by Joey Mullen, and that is handled very easily by a very competent young Sergei Milnikov. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Viktor Tikhonov looking a good deal more relaxed now than he was earlier when the United States put the pressure on.
There's a look at some of the damage that was inflicted by Gary Suter on Andrei Lomakin in the first period. He just skated back on the ice. It took quite a while to stitch up. I would guess, without knowing, I would think probably 20, 25 stitches around his eye. And that's because Bikov won the face-off. It floats down to the United States blue line. Past Mullen's stick, back to the Soviet zone. Kazatanov with his defense partner Fatisa. Plays it to the winger over on the right boards. Gathers it in behind the net again as they retreat to go forward, and ahead they come. Bikov with it now. With Kamensky. Bikov having trouble on the boards. Couldn't make his play. Jumps and takes a bump in there. Bikov with it in front. Oh, and Kazatanov sailing in. Had a blast blocked by goaltender Tom Barrasso. Still loose in the U.S. zone. Swinging it in front across the crease. Nobody home. And ahead they come with Mullen to the Soviet blue line. Feeding it in on the boards for Broughton. He's taken in heavily there with the Soviet. Bikov tries to dig it free. Can't come up with it. Mullen battling forth behind the Soviet goal. And Housley now passes in front for LaFontaine. His shot goes wide. Kamensky, long lead pass for Bikov against 3 American defenders back of the United States blue line. Brings it inside down the left. Off the boards for Kamensky. Loose of the United States zone. Played by Kelly Miller, but the Soviets still have it. Circling, making the pass in front. Chelios breaks that up. And Chris Chelios brings it away. With a pass to Presley. Presley couldn't make that one final little move against Verbuchen. They bump in the corner for it, and the Soviets come up with it. Past the 7-minute mark in the second period, it remains 2-0 for the Soviets over Team USA in Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Well, if you can't do it yourself, you can just get a little help from your friends. 2 Buffalo Sabres, Housley, number 6, and Ramsey, number 3. Take one of the Soviets for a rough ride in behind Barrasso.
And Lomakin, all bandaged up after that vicious attack from Suter in the first period, is back on the ice now. Shot was headed his way. He failed to deflect it. Still in the United States end of the ice. For Tom Barrasso, the goalie, to try to fend. He fans the first time, now flicks it high along the glass. Soviets so good at maintaining pressure as Semenov keeps it in the United States corner. And finally, cleared back to center ice. Fraser gets bumped from behind by Semenov. Now this is Lomakin. Working against Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher has him tied up, so Semenov simply slaps it down to Rod Langway. Not very many good scoring chances for the United States in this period as they try to cut into the Soviet 2-goal lead. The Soviets have scored 8 times in the first period coming into this game tonight, and they have tended to slacken off a bit in the second, but that's not the story here in this game so far. Yakin had his play broken up. Housley shooting it down to the corner. In behind, coming all the way out over the blue line. The quick pass out from behind the net. And that'll be called on the offside at the Soviet blue line. With the score remaining 2-0 for the USSR here in Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. With Bill Clement and Steve Cooney, this is Don Chevrier back with you in the Hartford Civic Center. 2-0 for the Soviet Union. Both goals and power plays in the first period. The United States with only 1 shot on goal here in the second period, which is about 9 minutes old. Quick wrist shot coming in from Samak. Blocked by Barrasso. He's been equal to almost every occasion. Certainly he has here in the second period. Mike Ramsey. Passing ahead for Carpenter. Carpenter just picks it, lets it roll to the Soviet zone. A big hit on the boards there by Ed Olchek. Now the Toronto Maple Leafs. Otto working with him behind the goal, and this is Kazatonov. Sending it away in the center red area. For Yakin. Back on the American. Ramsey's shot. Blocked by the defender. And backpedaling goes Igor Stilno. Wadding it down the ice. Barrasso in the corner as the puck was touched. It is not icing. Allows the play to continue as we approach the midway point in this period, the midway point of the hockey game. Quick chance right there for Mullen, but just a foot offside of the Soviet blue line. They stop the play.
Well, Team USA certainly doesn't seem as if they're going to back off of the physical game. Now they seem to be controlling the adrenaline a little better. Watch this hit by Eddie Olchek.
Up and away.
If we had had a camera angle to show you the entire end panels of glass, the entire end of the building seemed to sway back about 15 inches and then come back into place after that hit.
Looked like an earthquake had taken place. Here is the dangerous Krutov, testing the left side, swinging smartly in front. Can't get his shot away. Held at bay by Chris Chelios. Flips it across the ice for Fetisov. Across to Larianov. Now the temporary point man. He lets a shot go there. Barrasso. Partial screen makes the save for Chelios. Long lead pass for Mullen. Can't quite connect with it. So Chelios will try it again. Skates around Fetisov's body for Mullen. Shoots! Scores!
By Chris Chelios to set up Joey Mullen. He did it 47 times last year for the Calgary Flames. That one, Milnikov cannot get to in off the far post. What a great spot for Joey Mullen to shoot from. I'm sure his eyes were as big as saucers once he wound up. The Soviet defender didn't get over in time. It's a great spot for Mullen to shoot from. He's one of the most dangerous snipers in the world from that area of the ice. He made no mistake. It's 2-1.
Pinpoint accuracy by Mullen, beating him on the stick side of the far corner of the net. The United States a goal down now, and they are alive, this crowd, and roaring in the Hartford Civic Center. Kelly Miller beating from Presley too far. Vasily Pervukin getting it back to the center ice area for Langway of the United States. A little over 9 minutes to go in a fast-paced second period here. Mullen from Chelios to goal at 10:28 for the United States to cut the lead to 2-1. Long left wing pass over 2 lines to Presley, and a great scoring chance denied there on the offside pass. 2-1 for the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Joe Mullen on loan from the Calgary Flames to Team USA gets his third goal of this Canada Cup series, and a mighty big one for the United States. He was a doubtful starter with a bad knee, skated in pregame. They said, okay, let's give it a go, and he gets the goal. pressure now from the United States. Ramsey shot in his glove high by Mielnikov. It was almost a tied hockey game.
Well, that's about all that's left for Ramsey to do to top off his game. He's just had a standout defensive game. Here he's going for a high shot to the glove side of Mielnikov. That's a 10-bell save. Mielnikov really robbed him. Ramsey got a good snapper away. And he was going down, too, which made it a little longer distance to move that glove, going from down low up high. Mike Ramsey has been so strong defensively.
He, of course, has been through it before. Part of the 1980 gold medal team in Lake Placid, along with Mark Johnston, also in this lineup for Team USA. So some deja vu for those two. It's shared by their new teammates now. They're in a hockey game, trailing 2-1.
One of many Minnesota natives playing for Team USA. Mike Ramsey, born in Minneapolis. Ted Sater is only complimentary about his favorite defenseman. He says he gives me 100% every night. He's Mr. Dependability.
Brooks with Nyland and Fraser, and the Soviets succeed in working it back to the center ice area. In they come 3-on-2. Drop there. Here's the pass coming down to Priyakin. Leaving it in behind the goal for the man we talked about a minute ago, Mike Ramsey, and he clears back to the neutral zone. A little over 8 minutes to play in a blistering second period of Canada Cup action. Here come the Americans with a wide shot from a sharp angle by Fraser. Sails wide and hard off the board. Housley with it now. Digs into the right corner. Centering pass all the way across to the other side. And cleared by Priyakin back to center. But for the first time in this game, the consistent pressure is on the Soviets, not on the Americans, as it was for much of the first period. In they come again with Housley leading the attack. Just over the line. The Soviets clear. Popped over Ramsey's stick of the United States. Gets a long feed from Barrasso to come back over the line. Here's Carpenter's shot going wide. Bobby Carpenter's slap shot just missing the target. Soviets with the attacker going in and 2 trailing. Quickly have that play broken up. Here's Carpenter, and it's offside by a foot. That's the Soviet blue line. 7.5 minutes to play in the second period. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, one of the reasons Tom Barrasso is on this hockey team, besides his ability to stop the puck, Lou Nanne said, I need goaltenders that can handle the puck. And both Barrasso and Van Biesbroek do it well. There's that long pass to Housley. Housley fed Aaron Broughton, and another dangerous scoring opportunity. But Barrasso's excellent controlling the puck in behind his head and getting it up ice. He really caught the Soviets sleeping on that one.
Once in a blue moon, you'll see in the scoring summary a goalie getting an assist. That's the way it's done. Feeding it ahead, one more pass. Might have done it for the United States there. They trailed 2-1 to the Soviets. 7:29 to go here in the second period in Hartford. The Joel Otto line with Ed Olczyk and Bob Carpenter for the United States. Getting a lot of ice time tonight. Their top attacking unit. Here's Chelios, a long shot, partially screened, and Mielnikov handles that. He's been very cool. Saved the 1 goal that beat him tonight. By Mullen. The big line out there with Makarov now, attacking the United States zone. Being watched carefully by Suter. Makarov turns, wheels the other way, then gets turned around in the corner, but comes free with the puck once again. Now he's being challenged behind the net. Stick checked into the corner, tied up there, can't make his play. The U.S. reacting very, very well now in their own zone, given a new lease on life by that goal they scored a couple of minutes ago. Almost a bad mistake there, though, as it came all the way over to the Soviet attacker for the slap shot. That almost got through. And here comes Joel Otto with Olczyk. And Carpenter, pass to Carpenter right away. Carpenter shooting! And a great save by Sergei Mielnikov. We welcome viewers across Canada on the CTV television network. 2-1 for the Soviets. Here they come. The blast going just wide of the goal by Krutov. Mullen for the United States has made it a 2-1 hockey game after the Soviets got power play goals in the first period. And over the stick of Hops of Homyatov. It was almost 3-1 right there. Tom Barrasso in goal as Goldstick rakes the Soviet player in behind into the board. Down he goes in a pile. Andrei Homyatov.
You know, it didn't look intentional, but it sure achieved some results for Tom Barrasso. He ended up with his stick wrapped right around number 15, Homyatov's neck, and clotheslined him completely into the boards. Here it comes. Homyatov is just moving in to try and get the puck. Barrasso looks as if he's just going back into the net. Well, maybe Tom did kind of set up that clothesline intentionally. Komutov ended up in a pile behind.
He skated right into it and paid the price, and a finishing touch by Rod Langway, the United States captain, to make sure he was down.
Small but durable, though, the Soviets. Their balance is so excellent that they can compete on a physical basis with guys like Rod Langway that are 6'3", 215 pounds. Soviets 5'9", 160, 170, many of them.
6:10 to play in the second period. The Soviet line centered by Bikov on the ice now. Rolling to the Soviet zone. Fedotov with it now, getting it up the board. Barrasso not afraid to come out of that net. We've seen him shoot it down the ice from well out, and we certainly saw him clothesline a Soviet player a moment ago. Now Mark Johnson behind the net for the United States. Housley across to Aaron Brocky trying to clear. The Soviets putting pressure on at this stage. The pressure in this period has come mostly from the United States at this point. Brocky gets all tangled up there with Bikov. Can't clear it. Bikov now to the Soviets. Their smallest player at 5'8" almost got loose. But here is Aaron Brocky, who plays for the New Jersey Devils. Getting it ahead inside the Soviet blue line, but quickly shot back to the neutral zone. We have 5.5 minutes to play in the period now. Soviets come in 3-on-2. Circling in front, loose puck, and Barrasso will cover it up right there with a Soviet attacker, Bikov, parked on his doorstep.
Boy, it didn't take them long to get little 27 Bikov out of there. Kamensky was coming late. He took the feed and he tried to drive for the net on his backhand. Barrasso was able to sprawl. Here's what they do. They get the play slowed down on one side of the ice, and out of nowhere comes barreling number 13, Valery Kamensky. Barrasso, boy, Housley really came down on Bikov.
Kamensky got the first goal of this game for the Soviets. Makarov the second. They were both on power plays just 16 seconds in, but in this period, the U.S. and the USSR are even at shots in 4. The Soviets lead 16-10 at this stage on the ninth. And a big face-off in the United States zone. Anatoly Semenov wins it, and it's not dropped fairly. They will do it again in the United States zone. With now 5:19 remaining, and the Soviets in front by a 2-1 score in Hartford over the United States. Chris Chelios up the far board. Semenov gets a bump from behind from LaFontaine, carries on, keeps it alive for the Soviet Union. Plus to Lamakin. Quick shot is handled easily by Barrasso from the sharp angle to his left. Just over 5 minutes to go. A 2-1 hockey game for the Soviets. The U.S. certainly in it. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Boy, it might be tough for Andre Lomakin to get to sleep tonight. That will be a throbbing area of his body. What a blow he took.
Looks like he's been in a car accident. He was in a hockey accident. Maybe not an accident.
I was going to say.
All right, with less than 5 minutes to go, the United States trying to press for the equalizer here against the Soviet Union. Fetisov inside the zone, promptly up to the stick of Presley at center ice, but he's checked by number 7, the veteran Kazatonov. And they stop it again, once again, for a face-off just outside the United States blue line. Reminder, this telecast is protected by copyright. Any unauthorized use of the pictures and accounts of this game are strictly prohibited.
Here's a look at Anatoly Semenov. Kind of an interesting scouting report. Watch the Soviets often enough, and you're able to figure out whether or not they prepare mentally for the game. Semenov's a big, strong, tough winger that doesn't always prepare mentally. You can catch him sleeping and ill-prepared for certain games and make him look bad out there.
This is Rod Langway across the ice to his defense mate Hampshire. Rolling it ahead inside the Soviet zone. Semak played it behind his net. And they come back with it to the neutral zone. Now the attacking area inside the United States blue line. Down goes the Soviet player Pryakin there as he met Hampshire. Hampshire playing with only one glove. It came off in the confrontation. They get it to him. And now Kevin Hampshire comes forward, dropping it to Langway. Over on the left side to Fraser. He can't control it. Less than 4 minutes to go on the period now. For the Soviets, Omilov rolls a lazy shot to the side of the goal. Barrasso, aggressive as ever, shoots it almost out of the U.S. zone. Dumped into the right corner. Makarov selecting it for the Soviet Union. Swinging away at the blue line. Hitting the United States line. Makarov stick-handing beautifully. Feeds across the other side to Krutov. He couldn't connect on the play. And Makarov, who is everywhere, swirling around this ice in dangerous fashion. Two players down, a collision at center ice, and play goes right on with 3:15 to play in the period. 17-11 the shots now in the game for the Soviets, but the U.S. holding their own here in this period. Here's Joe Lotto taking the pass from Bobby Carpenter, and he couldn't do anything with it. Makarov for the Soviets now. To Larionov, ridden off by Housley. Turned around, upended in the corner, slanted to the board. Two checks there, one thrown by Olchek right alongside of him. Down they go. Olchek coming up with the puck and trying to clear for the U.S. to Bobby Carpenter. He escapes a hit and digs it away at center ice. Now Makarov. Larionov. U.S. changing, both sides tired. The Soviet line getting tired now, and it'll give way. Omyatov on left wing comes onto the ice with his two partners here, and the Soviets take their time forming the play up from inside their own zone. Held in the Soviet zone. Loose puck there, and a scoring chance quickly broken up, and back they come. Here is Kamensky. He scored one of the goals tonight. He becomes a sandwich of Suter and Chelios and gets punched inside the U.S. line. And as a result of not getting out, he was caught in there for the offside. They'll bring it back for a face-off just on the Soviet side of center.
You know, Team USA wants to hope that number 13, the man that's getting sandwiched here, doesn't wake up. He's hot and cold. He's been criticized in Soviet hockey, especially by Anatoly Terezov, the father of modern-day hockey. He's been criticized for indifferent play. So one night, Kamensky will give you the big effort. He scored one tonight, but other than that one shot, Don, he really hasn't done that much. But when he decides to wake up, we saw him at Rendezvous 87 against the best from the National Hockey League when he scored 3 one night. So when he's on, he's really on.
He's only 21 years of age, and maybe if that was his alarm clock, it just went off on that double collision he got caught in.
Wake-up call.
Might get his attention. 2 minutes to play in the second period. The Soviets holding a slender 1-goal lead over a revitalized United States team. They have played much more aggressively and effectively. Here's a chance right in front, but LaFontaine bangs away, and Neil Nikov somehow kept it out.
Boy, Wayne Presley has been throwing his body everywhere, and so much happens when they take the Soviets deep in their zone. It seems that every time Team USA has been able to move in and bump the defenseman off of the puck. We'll watch it here. There's Presley. Nobody is there but white jerseys. There's number 11, Kelly Miller, moving in. LaFontaine's jamming away at it. But they're continuing to take the man, and I think that's a key. They're still in this hockey game. Team USA are all over them.
LaFontaine almost collecting his 4th goal of this tournament right there, which would have tied it. They gave out 10,000 United States flags tonight. The little ones you saw in the background are the ones they issued. It certainly had cause to wave them here in the second period. Down by a goal now after it looked the Soviets might run them out of the building in the first period. The U.S. has saved for a penalty here so far to their advantage. LaFontaine doesn't get a shot away, gets a second chance, gets turned around, and the check is made by Lomakin. The Soviets coming back now to center ice. Svetlov going, and Svetlov scores! Oh. It's a 3-1 hockey game.
One of the fastest skaters in the world, Sergei Svetlov. You see that he not only has legs, he's got great hands. He came down on a 1-on-2 situation, and what a dipsy-doodle right-to-left move. Hatcher's backing up on the right. Rod Langway is on the left, and he just beat one of the best defensive defensemen in the world in Rod Langway with that right-left move, and he goes right between Tom Barrasso's legs. You can see that Barrasso appeared to be anticipating the deke. He had his stick choked right to the knob, was waiting to poke Svetlov, and Svetlov never gave him a chance. He just jammed it right between Barrasso's legs, and all of a sudden it's a 3-1 hockey game.
Man who had 7 points in the 84 Canada Cup gets his first goal of this tournament for the Soviet Union. The 7-year veteran of the USSR national team at 18:30. Svetlov unassisted makes it 3-1. A very timely goal for the Soviets now. Let's see if it takes much of the sting out of the United States attack as Chris Nyland shoots it across the left side inside the Soviet blue line. Fetisov, defending from behind his own goal, fails to clear. Held inside the zone for Chelios. Down for Brooks. Fraser going in after it, can't come up with the puck. With a minute left to play now in the second period, 3-1 for the Soviets over the United States. It's frozen against the boards of the American bench. They'll face off in that area. And some hostility going on with Chris Nyland in the center of things there. Getting up, and the linesman Finn and D'Amico quickly coming in. D'Amico is chasing Nyland around to make sure he doesn't return and re-engage.
You You know, one of the things we read in North America is about the Soviet hockey system slipping. They're not what they used to be, and I'm not sure it's wishful thinking. When you take a look at their round-robin total since 1980 in Olympic play, in Canada Cup play, and in World Championship play, in round-robin, they have lost 5 of 85 games. So the big red machine, I think, continues to tick in the Soviet Union. They lost the gold medal at the World Championships in Vienna. And that was in spite of the fact that they did not lose a game.
So the first penalties of the period are dual penalties for roughing. Soviet Vyacheslav Fetisov and Chris Nyland for the United States. Roughing it up after the play had been whistled down. So they will finish this period and start the next in the penalty box. And here in international rules, the teams are a man short during those otherwise offsetting penalties, which is the rule in North America. A little more ice room certainly out there, and that's something that might benefit the Soviets, who like the larger ice surface, as all Europeans do. As Atonov now works it inside the line, drops the trailing pass too far, and it's back out to center ice with 30 seconds remaining in the second period. The dangerous Makarov is alone with 2 U.S. defenders on him. Now a third helps out, and Housley comes away with the puck. Bill Housley of the Buffalo Sabres makes his pass up to the center ice area. Nobody on the right wing for the United States. The Soviets quickly with Makarov inside the line again. Trying to feed his defense player does. Here's the backhand attempt. Barrasso makes the save. The rebound is steered away. Stelmanov with a scoring chance there. And there'll be a face-off with 6 seconds to go in the period.
Boy, when they buy themselves time, if they are able to cross the blue line and stop, they always have their defenseman up on the play. That was number 4, Igor Stelmanov, that had a backhand chance on Barrasso, but Barrasso easily read it and made the save.
So one last attempt for the Soviets to widen their lead here, which is 3-1 at the moment, with 6 seconds showing on the clock in Hartford. Another exciting period of hockey, and the United States dropped the score to within 1 before the Soviets again widen their lead, which stands at 3-1 right now. Trying to feed Homyatov, can't get it to him. Instead, it's in the stick of Suter for the United States. Out to center ice, 1 second left, and that is it for the second period of play. A very timely third goal for the Soviets, makes it 3-1. So Bob Johnson and company will have to regroup here in the final intermission of this night to come back on the USSR. From Hartford, Connecticut, this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Civic Center, where after 40 minutes of play in this Labatt Canada Cup game, it's the Soviet Union 3, the Yacht. It is 3-1 for the Soviets. Goal scores in the second period. The USA's Joe Mullen closed the gap to 2-1 at the 10:28 mark with an assist to Chris Chelios, a nice two-way passing play. And then for the Soviet Union, restoring the 2-goal lead was Sergei Svetlov, an unassisted goal at the 18:40 mark. So after 40 minutes, it's 3-1 for the Soviets over the Americans. Shots on goal in the second period. For the Soviet Union, 7 for a 2-period total of 19. For the United States, 6 for a 2-period total of 12. Elsewhere in Labatt Canada Cup action this evening, Sweden and Canada are now tied at 2 in the second period. This time, the Canadians have come from behind to tie it up. The Swedes had fallen behind early and came back to tie it at 1-1, then went ahead 2-1, and Canada came back to tie it up at 2. That's a second period score for the game going on elsewhere this evening. In a game played this afternoon, Czechoslovakia down Finland by a score of 5-2. The Finns were already out of contention for the final round of playoff activity, and the Czechoslovakia is still very much in it, depending a lot on what happens in this game this evening. Now, let's go back upstairs to Don Chevrier and Bill Clement for the third period.
Thank you, Steve. You saw Tom Barrasso reflecting, and you got a group session underway here on the Soviet end of the ice around goalie Sergei Milnikov, who's yielded just one. As we saw, the goal by Joey Mullen. 3-1 for the Soviet Union, 20 minutes remaining here in Hartford.
It would sure help Team USA if they could get a power play in this hockey game. Chris Nyland is in the penalty box, but it's a coincidental penalty with Fetisov, so they cancel out. The Soviets have had 5 minutes and 16 seconds of power play time tonight, and they've made the best of it. 2 of their goals are on the man advantage, so if Team USA can draw a couple of penalties, it would certainly give them a much better chance to get back in the hockey game. It's tough playing a game without getting a power play opportunity. You really have to capitalize on those chances when you get them. They haven't had any.
And as we've seen, they can ill afford to give any more power play opportunities to the Soviet Union. They have added now an assist on the third Soviet goal by Svetlov at 18:30 of the second period. Lomakin, who was cut up earlier in the game, came back bandaged, sets up the third Soviet goal. So the referee, Vladimir Schubert, drops the puck and gets third period play underway here in Hartford. Shooter for the United States. As the Americans form up here, 2 goals in arrears. Bobby Carpenter accepts the long pass, feeds it back now at his own blue line, and Suter fell on the play. This is Vilnov for the Soviet Union, squeezing it inside the American line. Rink wide now for Suter. They are still a man short on each side. 38 seconds left in the current penalty. Backhand shot quickly wheeled wide of the American goal. They are so quick and they are so dangerous, you can't leave them alone for a moment, the Soviets. Both teams seem content now to let the penalties expire and then get back to serious business. Each a man short of the interim. LaFontaine now with Miller inside the line. Miller working his way in front. Short side, gets the shot out, had no room in which to aim it, and it slides back down to the doorstep of Barrasso. Backcourt is Langway, and the Soviets, you don't see them do it often, but they have been called for icing. We have 3 seconds left in those 2 penalties. Rod Langway, the captain of Team USA of the Washington Capitals. He is the old school, pre-helmet hockey school.
Well, Kelly Miller came close to making this a 3-2 hockey game, cutting in. Nice start-stop move and pulls it back to his forehand, but you can see Milnikov was, as he has been all night, in the right position just to let it hit him and bounce to the side.
The attackers are LaFontaine on the faceoff and Miller. LaFontaine wins it, slides through Kamensky. And the 2 penalized players are back on the ice. These teams are at full strength once again. Kevin Hatcher for Team USA. Up to Presley, relayed down to the Soviet corner and in behind the net. Miller skating hard for it there. The Soviets break out. They come away 3-on-2. Right wing pass at the blue line of Team USA. Svetlov, he has scored the 3rd goal tonight. Circled. Semenov slides it across the goal crease to an open corner. But the Soviet pressure continues. Svetlov setting up his man, getting it back again, being forced back to the blue line, and now Hatcher for the United States works it free. Ahead to Miller. He hits the Soviet blue line. LaFontaine waiting for the pass. It's blocked by the defense. A soft shot handled easily and contained by Sergei Milnikov. It remains 3-1 for the Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Well, Bill Clement, you mentioned earlier how the United States can beat the Soviets in one aspect, that's winning faceoffs. They've won 30 to the Soviets 18 through 2 periods. And there's another one they have picked up. 2 minutes gone in the 3rd period. The U.S. has 2 goals to make up against the Big Red Machine. And in they come. Here's a hard drive from Stelnov. And Barrasso equal to that occasion.
Boy, he's flexing that left arm, though. He caught him above his blocker glove. And although he has good padding, that shot from Stelnov had to sting.
Here is Bekoff trying to get free. And the little attacker gets turned around by Phil Housley. Now the long pass ahead for Broughton. Driving into the Soviet corner. To Tsesov. Rink wide to the blue line. Over on the right wing at the United States line. In they come with Honyukov. Shot in front. Loose puck. Cleared out over the line by the United States. But a dangerous attempt there with the Soviets to make it 4-1. Players caught inside the blue line. There'll be a long delayed offside. But Housley now will be allowed to bring it out as the Soviets change on the fly. The goalie fails to contain it. Fraser comes in, digs it right in front. Nobody home. Nyland couldn't get to it. And this is Fryakin for the Soviets, working it ahead to Homilov. Fraser for Brooks. Shooting, and a stop made by Milnikov. Opening up a little more now as we approach the 4-minute mark of this 3rd and final period. 3-1 for the Soviet Union here in Hartford. Kelly Oates across the line. They can't keep it in. Brooks back with it at center ice. Suter feeds it ahead at the line. Nyland winding for the blast, and it was high in the glove of Sergei Milnikov with a sparkling save. From Hartford, this is the Labatt Canada Cup.
There's Sergei Milnikov. You know, Chris Nyland is showing us how hard work pays off. He was drafted 231st out of 232 players in 1978, and he's worked on every aspect of his game, and that's one, his shooting. He's got a very decent National Hockey League shot. Certainly is a tough cookie. That's hardly a question when it comes to Chris Nyland, but he's worked on his skills aspect of the game, and he's really turned into a decent hockey player over the years.
Here's Otto with old Czech battling for possession behind the goal. Otto dug it out in front. Nobody there to receive it. Soviet, Makarov. Leaving it for Krutov. His shot was blocked. The intensity of the second period not quite evident consistently by the United States here in the third yet, but it is still early. 4 minutes old. Swept inside the line by Olchek. He couldn't hang on to it. Now they change on the go, the United States. The LaFontaine line coming out there as he forechecks in the Soviet zone. Number 16 from the New York Islanders. From the 84 Olympic team. Forechecking very well. Winning the puck. Trying to jam it from the side and just missing on it.
Boy, when they take the body, it's worked all night long, and if the United States can continue to push people off the puck, they're going to continue to get their scoring opportunities here in the third.
Owsley swings it across to an open corner. Selected by LaFontaine. Setting it up. Owsley closing in. Loose puck in front of the Soviets. Defend and bring it back up the ice. 2-on-1. In they come. The Soviet attacker got turned around. Couldn't get his shot away. Now Semenov. Getting it for Svetlov. Leading it for Semenov. Quick shot, gloved and retained by Tom Barrasso. 5:15 down in the period. Still 3-1 Soviets from Hartford. This is the Labatt Canada Cup.
Well, Team USA is going to show us here on this pass from LaFontaine to Owsley as he cuts in behind everyone. But they're able to take a page from the Soviet playbook as well. All of these eyes were on LaFontaine. He set up the decoy, and Owsley just broke for the net on the attack. And LaFontaine threaded it to him.
Face off in the United States zone. The Americans have outshot the Soviets 4-3 in this period, but trail on the game 22-16 in shots and in goals 3-1. Aaron Broughton now at his own blue line. Had to wait there, and it cost him because the Soviets. Bikov comes in, setting it up. Rebound, and Bikov almost put it away the second time.
Chelios saved it.
Down the ice, it slides to the Soviet zone. Almost a 4-1 hockey game a second ago. Up and down they go. The intensity continues. The freewheeling and the skating as the Soviets bring it in. That pass misfires. Held in by the USSR, though, and it goes down in behind. Kamensky now will leave the ice. They are tired, changing on the go. Bikov tries to carry on. Loses the puck there to Chelios. Big Chelios coming away with a left wing pass inside the line for Broughton. Left there for Mullen. Mullen couldn't get any wood on it. Just had it slide by the side of the goal. And for the Soviets, Yuri Homilov now gets it back to the neutral zone. In they come 3-on-2. Trailing with a slap shot is number 14, Fedotov. And that was blocked out of harm's way with now 13:39 to go in the game. There is no overtime should the United States tie it up. They got a battle for 2 goals and salvage a point here in the Canada Cup if they can.
That Team USA really hasn't broken down very much defensively tonight. The only times they have, they've been scored on. Let's take a look at the save Chris Chelios makes right there. There's Bikov. He is moving in, and I'm sure he thought he had a tap in, which he did. Chelios did a little spinorama backhand move, knocked it out of harm's way, and saved Tom Barrasso.
Island clears that one back to the center ice area. Soviets going backward to come forward now, and indeed they do press ahead, shooting it down in behind the U.S. goal. Barrasso out to block it smartly for Rod Langway. Razor, left wing, hitting the Soviet line, bringing it inside. He's got Nyland with him. Can't get it to him, hops over his stick. Now the Soviets bring it up with Sergei Pryakin. Pryakin being watched by Hatcher. Turns back. Can't make his play. Leaves it on the boards there. Battling for it. Pryakin with it. Goes into the corner for the Soviet Union. Against Hatcher and takes a hit in there. Escapes much of it, however. Johnson trying to help his defenseman out. Hatcher to Langway now. Up to Fraser. Trying to rebound it off the boards to get it free, and they can't get it out of their own zone. Good forechecking by the Soviet Union now as the big line comes on the ice. Makarov makes his presence felt. The United States brings it away. Too far for Fraser to lead past the blue line. Rolling into the Soviet corner on the stick of Anatoly Fedotov. Here is Krutov. He is dangerous. They all are on this line. Swinging away to the far side, letting his shot go. Deflected high off the glass in behind. 12 minutes and 20 seconds to play. U.S. still down by 2 goals. The only goal by Joey Mullen back in the second period. Makarov makes his play. Larionov. The crafty little Soviet setter works it inside the line. Lets a long shot drift down to the doorstep. Played back by Barrasso. Makarov spinning and turning away from the check by Otto. Now Hatcher with his check in the corner. For Ramsey and one. And Batonov to Larionov in front, and he almost got a clear shot away. Defended smartly there by Phil Housley. Alexei Kazatonov, who's been drafted by New Jersey. He may be one of the players eventually allowed to come over. Who knows?
Boy, would they like to get that defense pair. Fetisov was also a New Jersey Devils draft choice, so if they could bring them over as a pair, whew.
They would laugh at the Devils no more. Icing is called here. 11:29 to play in the game. 3-1, the Soviets in command over a battling USA team, and this is the Labatt Canada Cup. Off in the Soviet zone for the United States. Desperately need a goal to get back into this game. They trail by 2. Suter sends the shot through, and it's right on target. Turned aside by Mielnikov. Here's a delayed penalty will be called to the Soviet Union, and the United States will go to the power play.
Finally a chance with that man advantage. Once again, Pat LaFontaine, who's had a great night on the faceoff, draws it back. There you can see the penalty. I think it's that Wayne Presley that was cutting for the net was tripped up by one of the Soviet defenders. But at least now, 2 minutes on the power play, and that's 2 minutes that Team USA will not have to use to open up. We can see in this third period that they've opened it up, and by that, you mean taking chances offensively. They have to. They're down 2 goals. But when you take those offensive liberties, the offensive chances, we've seen a lot of Soviet 3-on-2s, and that game gets real old for the USA defensemen. Once you see those waves of red coming at you. So for 2 minutes, they can just open it up with their power play.
And in baseball, when you go 0 for 12, they say you're due. Well, the United States is certainly due to score on a power play here, Bill. Let's see what they can do with it now. The 2-man advantage, but a bad start. Bad pass comes out to Suter, and they've got to regroup. He's with Housley out there, playing it in. Housley, an offensive-minded defenseman, feeding it in. Here's the chance for the side of the goal, and it just drifts wide. Otto tried to make the play. He'll get it back to Suter. Beside the goal, quickly popped in front by Mullen. Couldn't connect on it, but held in by Housley over on the right point temporarily. The Soviets with it. Out they come. One-on-one with Housley taking his man Semenov effectively out of the play and preventing a shot. 1:20 left in the American power play. From well out center ice, Suter blasts it high and wide. Fetisov gets turned around in there. Won by Otto. Tried to leave it for Mullen. Couldn't do so. And the Soviets clear the zone. This crowd of 14,838 will surely erupt if the U.S. connect here in this play. The dangerous LaFontaine with Chelios in there now. Johnston mixing his attack on the power play, and he's got some potential scorers out there. They just can't put it together in the sequence.
They haven't been left any time at all. The Soviets penalty-killing unit are so aggressive. They play a chase kind of game. Very seldom set up and just let you move the puck around. Watch them chase here.
Olchek for Presley. Presley fighting for it. Olchek in front. Oh, and hopped over the stick of LaFontaine. Chelios getting a chance. Wide angle, lets it go, and he whips it. Missed the short side. Soviets still being contained in there. Chelios takes the shot, sends the defender down. Now lets it go, and it's blocked by the other defenseman, who felt that one. 2 defenders for the Soviets down on the ice, but the Soviet player Stelnov is in pain. He blocked that shot.
Boy, you bet. Chelios, with a great fake, got one of the Soviet defenders to go down, and on the blast, number 4, Igor Stelnov, ate that one somewhere, I think, around the knee. But you can see how aggressive the Soviets kill penalties. They don't allow Team USA to set up at all. What a great fake by Chelios there. One goes down. Prince will get a chance to move to his right and let the shot go. Down goes Stelnov. Look at Ed Olchek and Wayne Presley, 14 and 26 in white. You can tell what kind of headache Mielnikov would have had Chelios been able to get that shot through.
LaFontaine hurdling the fallen Soviet player in pursuit of the puck.
Well, Team USA is being very smart here. They know how aggressively the USSR kills penalties, so throw the odd fake at them and catch the odd guy high in the box. Chelios made an excellent move.
Still 14 seconds to go in the United States power play. They've had just one shot in the Soviet penalty sequence. LaFontaine on the draw, wins it, almost went right in, but just chipped away at the last second. And Chelios brings it ahead for the United States. Penalty is over now. Soviets back to full strength. Fetisov in the corner takes a hit from Presley. They clear the zone. Langway for the United States. Long pass over two lines for LaFontaine. Way over the second line. 9:08 left in the game. The Soviets continue to lead by 2. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Tom Chevrier with Bill Clement and Steve Cooney as the United States relentlessly pursues the Soviet Union here, trying to cut into this 2-goal lead in the second half of the final period of play. 9 minutes remaining now. 3-1 for the Soviet Union. They led 2-0 on power play goals in the first period. U.S. cut the lead to a goal, and the Soviets put it ahead 3-1 late in the second period, and that's where it stands right now. Kevin Hatcher for Langway. Long left wing pass. Brook takes it across the Soviet line. Can't make his play. Tied up by Kazatonov. So they'll reload at center ice. Will pass to Langway. And back to his Washington Capitol teammate. Razor trying to steal the puck. Was unsuccessful. So by Krutov down to the United States corner now. 8:15 to play in the game. Long blast high off the glass around to the near left side. Nyland cruising forward with Fraser. To Nyland. Hopped over his stick. Komilov for the Soviet Union. For Fedotov. Now this is Priyakin. Brook for the United States. Blocked by the goaltender. Neil Mikov. He's been tested severely and has made some great saves tonight. You know now why Tikhonov selected him as the starting goalie in the last 3 games. He's got a shutout so far in this Canada Cup and has held the United States to a single goal tonight. Samac couldn't control it. Ahead for Mullen to Housley. And there's a stoppage in play with 7:23 to go in the third period. Very tough, Bill, for the Americans to maintain the intensity we've spoken of so often.
Well, sooner or later that adrenaline wears off, and it's been a hockey game that has been so full of expenses of energy. Housley has been taking people into the boards. Presley, Pat LaFontaine. You can go down the lineup of the guys dressed in white tonight, and they have consistently taken the play physically to the Soviet Union, and that tends to drain you sooner or later. You end up with not quite as much energy left for the legs in the third period as you would like.
Semenov for the Soviet Union got the blast away about 25 feet out. We want to welcome viewers on CTV as the Soviets swarm around the United States goal area again. It is a 3-1 game. The play whistle down there. The Soviets got the third goal late in the second period. Svetlov scoring at 18:30, a fairly soft goal. Their first 2 were on power plays. The United States reply from Joey Mullen, set up by Chelios at 10:28 of the second period. The U.S. basically has outplayed the Soviets, outshot them here in this third period, but can't cut into that lead, Bill.
No. You know, one of the things that has frustrated the Soviet Union's hockey program in the last, half a dozen years is nobody will go toe-to-toe offensively with them. It's for good reason. Nobody's dumb enough to do it. The Soviet Union has the most explosive hockey team in the world with, perhaps compared to Team Canada when they're on top of their game. But teams that defeat the Soviet Union do it by playing very strong defensive hockey, but it's an uphill battle every time you face them.
Rich Chelios, the Montreal Canadiens, bangs one off the board, shooting it into the Soviet zone. The U.S. so aggressive and so frustrated here. They had a power play opportunity they could not score on about 3 minutes ago. Here's a chance in front for Olchek, just traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday, and he could not capitalize on it. Off down to the side of Tom Barrasso in goal for the United States. And they call it back for icing against the Soviet Union. The third time in this game the Soviets have been called for icing. They don't do it very much generally.
Boy, Team USA continues to take the body, and almost every time they do, they get a scoring opportunity. Here's Bobby Carpenter riding out one of the Soviet defensemen. Puck ends up getting, well, he actually gets his own puck that he received when he knocked the Soviet player off of it. Got a decent shot on Milnikov. And Milnikov is one of only a couple of players on this team. We had mentioned earlier tonight that all of the Soviet players pretty well play on the 4 teams that are based in Moscow. Bobby Carpenter, of course, based in Los Angeles. But Milnikov plays for a team, a town called Chelyabinsk, which is miles from Moscow, way up in the Ural Mountains. It's called Traktor. And he really made a name for himself a couple of years ago when he was added to the roster on an NHL tour when the Soviets came over and snapped 5 wins out of 6 games against the National Hockey League. And all of a sudden, Milnikov was in the picture.
Now, Langway discussing something with the referee here, and they're going to measure the stick.
The stick measure.
They're going to take a Soviet stick and measure it.
You know, it worked at Rendezvous 87. I don't know how they got this one. I remember at Rendezvous, they went to the bench to try to grab a stick, and the Soviets tried to pull it back and hide it. They got a hold of one here, and I think the maximum curve in international hockey is a 5/8 of an inch curve. We'll have to wait to see.
I wonder if it's cork. Interesting situation here. Batisov representing the Soviet Union in this matter, Langway for the United States.
Well, now what they're waiting for is the instrument that they measure sticks with. And believe me, even though there is an instrument, there are probably 8 or 10 different ways to hold it and to measure a stick. You can almost make this measure. It's a piece of metal that has a little knob that slides up and down on it to measure the 5/8 of an inch. You can just about get it to say whatever you want. So it'll be interesting to see who measures here. Schubert, the Czechoslovakian referee with the orange stripe, or John D'Amico, who could possibly be pro-North American, thinking the Canadian. There's the machine right there that they use.
They're both going to get involved with D'Amico holding the stick.
Well, get back, he says.
Yeah, got to get out of that little semicircle there. Langway and Batisov are waved away. Batisov is really curious. He's looking in harder than Langway.
I got to tell you, Don, I've taken a look at a lot of these sticks, and many of them are illegal. And don't think for a second that some of Team USA sticks aren't illegal either.
They've opened the door. It'll be a Soviet penalty.
Nice call.
Langway made a great call.
I like it.
And power play much needed now, and that's as good a way to get one as any.
Boy, you'd think the Soviets would have learned from Rendezvous, but they didn't.
Valeri Kamensky going in for 2 minutes. Used to an illegal stick.
Great call. 6:33 to play. The USA down by 2. Badger Bob, you could see him folding up his pad. I'm sure he put a check mark by late in the game if we're down. Check the Soviet sticks. It sure worked.
And get the right one, and they did.
Yeah.
There is Bob Johnson, the coach of Team USA. He will stand out. LaFontaine and company here on this United States power play. And the Soviets still talking among themselves. That really shook them. Let's see if it affects their play.
And it was Kaminsky's stick. You can tell why he shot the puck so hard when he scored that goal in the first period. It really does add to the velocity you can get on a shot when you play with a bigger hook.
All right, ready to go on the draw. LaFontaine has won so many of these. Gets this one. Dig it back on the left point. Johnson keeping it in. Swings it across to Chelios. Rebound in front. Loose puck. LaFontaine cruising. Can't bang at it and get it in. But here's Chelios with a blast. That is blocked all around the Soviet net. They go down in a pile with a puck underneath them.
Boy. There's some pretty sacrificial defensive plays by the Soviet Union. They were sprawling everywhere just trying to block shots. And Wayne Presley had a good chance to get the puck, and I'm sure he was being held at one point. Here's the original wrist shot. Here's Presley bottom right. 14. LaFontaine gets the rebound, and Presley right there couldn't get it. He's still being tied up by the Soviet in front. Another blast from Chelios. And I think that might be 27. Beekov that went down to block that one down.
He was in the pile. 1:42 still remaining in this Soviet penalty. The U.S. shot the USSR 6-5 here in the third period. 6:15 of playing time remaining.
Beekov is limping now as he walks along the bench. What a pesky little competitor, 27 for the Soviets. He missed the 84 Olympics because he was up on shoplifting charges in Sweden. He was later fired of it, but he was held back by the Soviet Union pending the outcome of the shoplifting charge. Perhaps saw a pair of jeans that he wanted or something.
Allegedly. Well, they've all been shopping for the jeans and the stereos here. and in Canada.
Sure.
On this tournament. Held in at the blue line, just by the United States. Hold check now, behind the goal. Presley passed it in front, and there was nobody home, and it is lobbed down the ice for the Soviet Union. Still a minute and 30 left, though, on the penalty. Plenty of time remaining for the U.S. to cut into the sweep 1 deficit. Kelly owes a hard, high blast off the glass. Johnston digs it back to him again, tries to feed LaFontaine, can't get it to him, and Krutov fails to clear the zone. Here's Presley now from the face-off circle. Has to retreat. Makes a pass back. There's a bad one, and the Soviets come out. Just skating slowly to kill time, but now setting up the big winger. Krutov coming, and he shoots. He scores! It is 4-1. The Soviets increase their lead on a shorthanded goal.
Boy, when they pressed, they forced so many turnovers, and their penalty killing, we didn't get a chance to see it until the third period, but they even put their snipers out there. That's what the entire world of hockey, I guess, has gone to in the last 10 years. Put some offensive players out there. Wayne Gretzky gets a ton of goals. But here they are pressing. Makarov has Presley tied up to number 9, Krutov, who comes over, slows, and then just waits. And sure enough, it comes right back to him. What a nifty little move he made to his forehand. You can see that Barrasso is going down and to the side. Last guy you want in front of the net all alone.
He has been drafted by the Vancouver Canucks, Vladimir Krutov. We'll see what happens there in the future, but the future for the U.S. in this game looks very bleak now, with the Soviets in front 4-1. Many great scoring chances on this power play for the United States. It continues despite the Soviet goal. And the Soviets, masters of this situation, promptly clear it down the ice. So round 1 went to Bob Johnson and Rod Langway for making the stick call correctly and getting the penalty. But the last laugh has gone to the Soviets, scoring a shorthanded goal to go on top 4-1. Housley has no room over at center ice to get the puck advanced, so he leaves it there. Shot inside the line now. Here's the relay coming across behind Bobby Carpenter, but held in by Suter. Semenov for the USSR. Flicks it, but not out. It is off Suter. Now he gets a second chance. And just 5 seconds left in this penalty for use of an illegal curved stick. It's just about up for the Soviet Union. Bill Housley with it now. Leading Brook on the left side. Back to Langway. His shot gloved and retained by Sergei Milnikov, and the power play is ended. 4-1 Soviets. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. 4-1 for the Soviets. A frustrating power play for the United States, during which they got only 1 shot off on Sergei Milnikov. But they have tested him time and time again tonight, and this young man has been more than equal to the occasion, playing in the tradition of the great Setchak. Time down to 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the third period. Langway ahead for the United States. Langway now turning back the attacker Svetlov as he reached the blue line, and that is whistled down. There'll be a face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, the plot certainly thickens after a couple of opening game victories in this Canada Cup for Team USA. They defeated Finland, defeated Sweden, now have lost Wednesday night 3-2 in just a fantastic hockey game to Team Canada. And will go down to defeat here unless they can pull 3 goals out of the hat with 4 minutes to go. That really sets up an interesting hockey game in Sydney, Nova Scotia on Sunday against the Czechs. And it will amount to whoever wins goes on and whoever doesn't goes home.
That'll be it. Nyland and Brook bumping together, and the Soviets work it inside the United States blue line. But Fraser has it back to center ice. Less than 4 minutes remaining now. 3:45 in the game. 4-1 for the Soviets. Komutov leaving it there for Fraser. He is sandwiched, forces it inside the line. They succeed in keeping it there with Big Nyland with it. Chris Nyland swinging behind the goal, right around, tries to jam it in unsuccessfully. And Mike Ramsey retreats into his own zone. For Housley, who's had an awful lot of ice time tonight. Boy, has he been busy. And now he will get a rest as the United States makes a wholesale change with just over 3 minutes to play. Makarov, the big line is out there. Krutov, Larionov. They hit the United States line. There's the drop pass. It is just offside. Fetisov at the blue line. 4-1 for the Soviets in Hartford. 3 minutes left. This is the Labatt Canada Cup. Not only did the USSR increase their lead by a goal to 4-1 while they were shorthanded, added frustration is that the United States have outshot the Soviets 8-6 here in this third period. So they have played their hearts out. It has been just too tough against the big red machine. It was Kelly Miller playing it in. Pervukin out the left side for the USSR to Makarov. That big line doesn't get a rest with Krutov cruising way down at the United States blue line. They couldn't get the puck up to it. Chelios with Suter out there. This is Suter from the left side starting out with 2.5 minutes to go. Didn't bring it in. Chelios will go back and reload. Langway out there with him now. He'll try the left side, blasts it in hard, past the goalie, can't contain it. Loose puck in behind the Soviet goal. His best way, he couldn't get it in front after stopping it with a hand. Couldn't get the stick on it. Sergei Makarov, the Soviet superstar left winger. Leaving it for Vasily Pervukin, the oldest member of this team at 31. And the Soviets appear content now to hold the U.S. at bay and just tick down the closing seconds. 1:40 to play. Mullen, who has scored the U.S. goal, plays it off the right boards. Johnson skates, squeeze it inside the blue line. It's Atanov getting it up the ice for the Soviet Union. Semenov in there for Lomakin. Digs it out in front. Here's a chance. Loose puck. Swept away by Hatcher. Johnson inside the blue line. Passing to an open corner. Mullen digging for it there against Lomakin. The Soviet player wins it. Bratton carries in, escapes the check. We now have a minute of play remaining in the hockey game. 4-1 for the Soviet Union. Here they come again. Semenov getting set. Digs it in front and scores. He walked in to make it 5-1. Anatoly Semenov.
You can see what happens when you're able to hang on to the puck long enough. Things just start to break down. Semenov had a couple of options in that play, and nobody got back quickly enough for Team USA to defend. There's Svetlov to Semenov. Now, it looked as if he could drop it there. Now he can pass. He's got number 7, Kasatonov, in front. He said, no, I think I want some of this action here tonight. He backhanded it off the post. Nice fake shot. That brought Mike Ramsey flat. You can see Mike fishing for it, but he just can't reach it. Pretty good individual play by Semenov, number 30.
5-1, 53 seconds to go. His second goal of this Canada Cup. Langway. Well, the Americans gave it a good shot here. Took it to the Soviet Union, stayed with them for a long time in this hockey game, and ironically it broke open when the U.S. had a power play going. It was the Soviets shorthanded who scored. They now have 30 seconds left. The U.S. looking for one final goal here to go away on a happier note against this team is Nyland. Has it bounce off his stick about 5 rows deep here in Hartford. Many in this crowd of 14,838 making their way to the exits, but they've seen an excellent hockey game, as good as you'll see. Now Sunday it comes down to Czechoslovakia and the United States to see which of those three will join the Soviets and Sweden and Canada in the medal round. And that game in Montreal is tied 3-3, Canada and Sweden in the third period, so nothing can be taken for granted there early in the final period. Brook will take the faceoff for the U.S. with 25 seconds left. And Ron Finn doesn't like the way the Soviet player is handling it so far, but the faceoff is won by Brook. He got a shot away that drifted wide. Now this is Boyakin, but Brook is there. 15 seconds to go. Taken down at the blue line. Long lead pass ahead for Nyland. Couldn't control the rolling puck. Goes into the corner. Now 6 seconds to play. The United States about to lose to the Soviet Union here. The Soviets one more attack. That is blocked by Langway, and that will do it. A spirited hockey game. Robust action from end to end much of the way. And the Soviet Union, they've certainly beaten the best the world has had to offer. Contained Team USA tonight, but not without a fight.
That's for sure. And you have to feel for Tom Barrasso. Things really haven't improved since his last Canada Cup effort. He loses tonight 5-1. But boy, he was sure under the gun late in the game. The Soviets just get coming in that big red wave we spoke about before the game.
They were even in shots in the final period. The Soviets not overwhelming the United States by any means, shooting them 27-20 over the 60 minutes of action here in Hartford tonight. So we will have the player of the game presentations to